Okay, so let's take a look at how you can import JSON data into MySQL using Workbench and also from command line. Right, so these two things we are going to take a look at. Before that, let's create this JSON data. So here I have this ID, which is row, right? Then first name, last name, then SSN data and state. Right, all of them except this one being integer, rest of them are text, right? So if I preview this, it should give me data like this, right? So we have 400 rows generated with this mocker tool, right? So let me download this, right? Now here it says mock data. So what I'm going to do is check this, and now just use people name instead of mock, right? So first thing, we will have to open MySQL, then Workbench, right? Also I will try and open terminal in between so that later we can also do the upload through command line option, right? Now within Workbench we can log in with local instance, right? On left hand side you have schemas, basically database within MySQL, right? Now here, out of everything, let's just have to check this DemoDB then table, where we have two tables already. So I will right click, then use data import wizard. Now I will give to this particular location and give it JSON object notation as file format. Then select people.json. Click open. Now click next, and you will have to create a new table named people, right? Okay, and click next, and inside that you will notice that you have ID integer, then first name text, last name text, SSN text, date text, right? And you have to click next. Now we'll have to just watch the progress of this import, right? Total 400 rows of data will be imported in this, right? Once everything is imported, you can see in the bottom that it has made those calls. Click next. 400 records imported. Click finish. Now select the tables, refresh all, then select the people table, and as you can see we have columns: ID integer, first name text, last name text, SSN, and then state. You can select this and copy just in case in near future for your typical another table that you gonna import through command line. You can use this particular data, right? So we'll come back to it later. Now what we can do is right click on table, select rows, and as you can see we have our people table, and we now can see the data that we just took from JSON file being imported in tabular format. Total 400 rows, showing exactly the way it should show in SQL table, right? So this is the one of the method that we did for importing JSON data. Now second method includes option 2. First we will have to create a table, right? So instead of DemoDB we'll pick another one, right? So here we'll have to create table. Let's name this people table, then apply. But considering we don't have any particular data within that, we'll just have to create the structure first. So id integer, then first underscore name being text, then last underscore name being text, ssn being text, and state being text. We have our people table ready, right? Everything with fields can apply. Okay, so there seems to be error. Okay, so can't use such syntax, cancel. Just have to take this a lot quicker now. We can simply select this columns here, copy. Now create table in another database. Let's name this people, apply. Now let me add the right, so everything applied properly and script is executed, right? We have our columns, as you can see here, with their respective data type, right? So what's left here now? We'll have to just locate the file, right? So let's say if I have it in d files people.json, so I'll have to import that with the command line, right? So let's open PowerShell, and here I will type in MySQL, then local dash in file set to 1, then dash u root dash p, then add the password and you get in, right? Now what we can do is we will use load data local in file, right? Then within single quote I will have to give it the path, copy address as text, then paste it here. Now considering this is backward slash, which will trigger some errors, I will use forward slash, right? And then people.json, make sure to verify this, right? people.json, right? Next, go to your MySQL Workbench, find out the table name. So before we run this query, we'll have to use this cells schema, right? So we'll just copy this command somehow, hopefully. So into the table name people, right, into table people, and then semicolon, right? So what we can do is we can, let's see if it selects everything. So hopefully it does, right? And let me just go back and first use the most required command, which is going to be our use schema, where our schema name is cells semicolon, and we have our schema changed. Now I can use the paste button, right? Then we have load data local in file, then we have our path to people.json, right? Correct, people.json, then we move that into table, right, which is going to be people, right? Or if you want, we can simply change this name to person, but we'll have to create new table for that. So make sure that you have existing table ready with all the column names that you wish to import, right? So you can't just use one random column. I already tried that with one of the CSV example, and I realized that everything gets put up and mashed into one column, right? So make sure when you are mapping from one file to another and getting it on your MySQL database, have those columns ready within that table, right? Hit enter and you can see you have 400 rows added into that database.